So wholesaling and assigning the contract, different laws is being changed where you can't assign your contract. One of the ways that you can do an exit once you have your property under contract is to transactional funding will give you the money at closing and charge you a little bit of money to borrow that money. We're going to go into different ways that you can dispose your property or do an exit strategy. So this is what we're going to do. Okay, is wholesaling dead? So I hear a lot of talk online, a lot of communication about people thinking that wholesaling is dead because of laws that's been changed in different states, like in South Carolina, where there was a bill that was enacted which effectively ends real estate wholesaling in South Carolina. Now, wholesaling is actually just an exit strategy. So wholesaling and assigning the contract, different laws is being changed where you can't assign your contract, but you can find a different exit strategy once you have that property under contract. So South Carolina, Arkansas, Michigan, North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota, Pennsylvania, Illinois, have changed laws where Illinois, you can only wholesale one to three properties a year. And after that, then you can't wholesale anything else or sign contracts. That's basically what it is. So it's an exit strategy. Wholesaling is one exit strategy. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to go into different ways that you can dispose your property or do an exit strategy in your market that doesn't allow you to wholesale or sign your contract. All right. One of the ways that you can do an exit once you have your property under contract is to sell the LLC. So if you start an LLC and when you go to purchase the property, you purchase it with an LLC instead of in your name. So a lot of wholesalers that just start in the beginning don't form an LLC. They just put the property in their name and then they go out and try to wholesale in their name. One thing you can do is sell the LLC. Think of Apple. Apple is a business. So selling the LLC is selling your business. And in that business, Apple has contracts. So they have contracts with vendors and suppliers and other contracts where they sell their products. So when somebody else buys Apple as a whole business, it comes with those contracts that they have attached to Apple Inc. So you'll be selling your business like 123 Main Street LLC. And in that business, that LLC is your contract. You're actually selling your business for your assignment fee, and the contract comes with that business, if that makes sense. I hope I explained it right. But so you can sell your LLC and they'll assume that contract in the business and then they'll close on the deal. So you're actually selling or assigning your LLC. That's one way. Another way is novation. Novation is a little more, it's not harder to explain, but it's a couple of more steps because you need agreement signed and you also need a power of attorney signed. But in the agreement it says that your buyer's contract will replace your contract and they will buy directly from the seller. But you're still in the mix. You're not out of the mix. So what happens is your contract will be with the title company or the attorney. So you still get paid at closing, but you just being pulled out of the middle, and the buyer and the seller will do business directly with each other. Okay, so you can check novation, do more research on novations, and that was there's an attorney out of South Carolina that's set on, don't quote me, but he sits on the board of realtors or something like that. So he's engaged, he's entwined, he's connected with these people that make the laws, and he kind of help structure how to wholesale or assign your contracts and do an exit strategy in South Carolina and around other states. Another one is, if you have cash, you can take the property down. Just buy it. If you got the money to buy it, then you can just buy it and resell it at a wholesale price. So that's what really wholesaling is, just selling at a wholesale price. But we call it wholesaling, but it's an exit strategy, remember. And if you don't have the means of buying the property, then you can use private money. Find people that have money. If you have a good deal, the money will follow. If you have a good deal, people will come and loan you the money. If you can structure a deal where they can get some money out of the deal, find private money if you don't have it, to close on it and also take it down and then put it back on the market. And doing that, you can put it on the MLS. And if you put on MLS, now you basically are wholesaling. And you can wholesale the property, put it on the MLS, and try to sell it to an end buyer that's actually going to keep the property. Okay, so that's going to live in it, keep it and live in it. So that's what wholesaling is. You putting the property on the MLS. If you can take it down, you can list it on the MLS and sell it to an end buyer that's going to live in it. They may have a 203K or a traditional rehab loan, and you can sell it to them for a little bit more than the wholesale price to an investor that wants to fix and flip. Okay, you can also use transactional funding. Transactional funding will give you the money at closing and charge you a little bit of money to borrow that money. It can be charged like $500 flat fee plus 1% or whatever the purchase price is. So transactional funding is a good way to close the deal and then turn around and wholesale it. So I'm saying wholesale, but the exit strategy to exit your deal and your property. So the transactional funding, what happens is, when you have a buyer, say you get a property under contract, you find a buyer. Once the buyer sends their money in to close on the deal, say you're selling a property for $150, maybe they put $5,000 down and they have to come to the table at closing with $145. Once they wire that $145,000, the transactional lender or transactional funding will actually then send their money to purchase the property for you. Well, send the money for you to purchase the property. And so they don't lose any money. They have basically zero risk as long as all the paperwork is correct. And you close on the deal, 2 minutes later, the seller can close on their deal. So that's how transactional funding works. You can do more research on it and keep building on transactional funding and see how that works for you. You can buy the deed or give a seller a down payment. So giving a seller a down payment and buying a deed is another strategy. So you won't have to be saying I'm wholesaling. So you can actually buy the deed and be on the deed. So you can say, look, I can give you $5,000-$10,000 down to take care of some obligations they may have, or put some money in their pocket in exchange for you getting the deed to the property. And if you get the deed to the property, it could be subject to the mortgage. It could be subject to the liens. You know, you can take it subject to the liens or the mortgage and help them out and say, look, don't worry about the liens and stuff. I'll take care of those later once the property is sold. Or you can just go ahead and say, I'm the buyer. I'm going to give you X amount. If they're comfortable with it, you buying the deed to the property, and then you can list it, or you can wholesale it, or you can sell the property and exit the property how you wish to exit the property. But that's a way of also wholesaling per se. So that's one thing. Try if you can get the deed. There's different ways of getting the deed with the next step, creative financing. You can get the deed. You know, you can go on the deed with the seller and say, look, let me fix it up and fix and flip it and something like that, and work that type of situation where you got the deed now and you can fix and flip it. But yeah, so these are the ways that different ways you can try to wholesale, just using the terminology wholesaling, or get a property under contract and find the exit strategies that work in a state that does not allow wholesaling. So look at your laws in your state, talk to your attorney or title company, and ask if one of these ways of exiting your contract can work legally in your state. And if it does, then use these strategies, put them in your toolbox. You know, these is tools, and you use these tools in certain states. And if it works, if it's legal, then put them in your toolbox and try to work out these strategies. You know, keep building. There may be, if you have more strategies that I didn't put here, put it in the comments. You know, I don't know everything. I'm giving you what I know, and that may be possible in your state. So check out these strategies in your state and see if it works. If it does work, let me know. Put the comments down below. And if it doesn't work, put the comments down below and see what can work. Maybe your attorney can come up with different strategies that I don't know. Because we always learning. This is always everyone, each one teach one. We always learn. Everybody's learning. Laws change, and we keep building. Peace. Be safe. Keep grinding. And check out my other videos that's on my channel.